What's chill in the hills, Oni-chan? It's your good friend, Emoto Slayer 13, and you've returned finally to the one and only Weeaboo Corner. You had a good day today? How was school? I'm sure you're wondering why me and your mother called you downstairs today, and it should be very obvious that we're here to talk about some pretty decent anime today. Despite the fact that the PlayStation's out back and buried next to the dog, I have actually used this time to really reflect on my anime choices and change up the scoring just a little bit. But this is also because I actually lost my initial scoring technique and I can't find it anymore. So I made some changes and adjustments, so that I could be a little bit nicer to isekais and slice of life's animes. I must also openly say, it's been a long time. You know why? Remember that time in the last episode where I rage quit anime? That wasn't a lie, and I did, but I'm back, with rejuvenated energy in the form of some good reviews and some good-ass future content. With the slight disclaimer out the way, I know you ain't been cleaning your room lately. Yeah, don't act like I ain't come into your room when you're at school. No. I don't want your excuses. Just sit your ass down and listen to this. Now, you might have heard this title through a lot of very hard GIFs and videos on some very flashy fight scenes, but I'm gonna be the first one to say, holy fuck. So I've been holding this off. I've been putting this off for years. 3 seasons, a slow burner, and I've really heard absolutely nothing about it, but I'm gonna do my absolute best to introduce you and get you into this anime. So, Bungo Stray Dogs Season 1 revolves around Atsushi Nakijima and his very shitty existence as an orphan. He has had a terrible history of his orphanage being plagued by a literal tiger that apparently he's the one who's fully aware of it, and it appears he's the prime suspect of all these weird tiger incidents that just so happen to follow him entirely. So, like any logical person would do, the people who own the orphanage, they kick him out. Fuck that nigga to the streets. They roast him in the process too. They call him ugly. They tell him he's worthless. They call him shitbag. They call him dickface. It's rude. They leave man homeless and starving. So yeah, it's your standard protagonist. So whilst his stomach rehearses the Donkey Kong 64 rap, he sees a pair of very sexy legs. It's like floating down the riverbank and decides it's a very good and understandable idea to save his life and hopefully rob him in the process. So, you find out that this man is called Osamu Dazai, an enthusiast on the pursuit of suicide and an actual literal detective. It actually turns out that this man was actually absolutely entirely trying to kill himself. Dazai opens up to say that he's investigating this same exact tiger that we've been known to love, and the two team up to take this sucker down, alongside his partner and best boy, Dopo Kinikida. Long story short, they eventually just get it fixed, and we get a very easy and not very eventful happy ever after from the first episode. And then we're introduced to the entire team of their supernatural detective agency, to which Atsushi is basically suckered into joining for the remainder of the series. And that's just the premise. Initially, there are a fair amount of references in this anime which date back to historical authors that, don't breathe anymore. Osamu Dazai is an actual author that tried to kill himself multiple times throughout his life around writing and releasing his books, mainly his most popular book, No Longer Human, a direct reference from the main character's actual power in show. No, not the power to attempt suicide, the power to actually nullify any and all supernatural powers, almost as much like Leech from the X-Men, I think. Feel free to contact me. I would also draw direct similarities to the main character in a certain magical index too. Every character being a detective has always been a fantastic idea, and it's actually quite well demonstrated here since we're walking through this, looking through Atsushi's eyes. We're slowly and certainly introduced to every single member of the team bit by bit. either through them demonstrating how cool and useful they are, or by them fucking dying. We get a very fair amount of one and the other here, not to mention, well, it's not on the same level as a Kamega kill. We have a lot of consequences, but mostly in a sense that the main character is an absolute dipshit and will do anything and everything like a fucking rookie. It's shocking to say that I actually really enjoyed Man being a rookie for the entire show, because it's actually made sense. Like, this man has no training whatsoever in the situations he gets involved in, but it's still kind of aggravating nonetheless when you're forced to watch a man fuck up entirely over and over again. Assumedly, I have to believe that that's what seasons 2 and 3 are for, finally making a main character out of him. The music was pretty decent. I always felt like I was back at mum's listening to Linkin Park, about to tell MySpace how much I hate the world before slamming my bedroom door. Despite the main character, I liked a lot of the characters in this detective agency, mainly the actual detective who has no actual powers. Savage, and rightfully so. The man will actually tell you fuck you to your face and tell you exactly why, and you just have to sit there and accept that he's right. It wouldn't feel right to say that this show had a final awakening, since every single character's powers do stay quite stagnant, and it's the same thing for basically the entire show. But we do have some good doses of crazy face and plot to keep the eyes gripped. Watching insane people do insane things is almost like the drive for the show. But the initial storyline is also quite interesting when it decides to kick in sometimes. I think it does go to say, without saying, and to say at the same time, I enjoyed the show, even if it was secretly all the way up until at least episode 9. Even if it was just a fucking nightmare towards the end. I don't know. But that's only because we get the Port Mafia fucking things up, which I will actually explain the Port Mafia in a future review when I review Stray Dogs Season 2. So, that's when I really started to enjoy it. Openly, the overall slow burn can eat a dick, but I only say this because it was a really good slow burn. It did what it had to do. It really fleshed out the characters as well as it had to before throwing them into urban warfare. So naturally, despite everything I've said today, I actually really like this show. I've been lying the whole time when I sounded like I hated the shit. It's just because I'm British. How about that? Everything aside, this show had 0 beach episode, so I legally have to give this a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. So, this show may have slipped under a fair people's radar, but Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle was a fucking banger. Let's run through this. The world, as we know, has achieved kind of harmony. Humans and the other races and species aren't fucking killing each other, and life is alright. The town of Goodrest somehow has a kingdom and a castle, despite being a town. But we'll put political architecture aside. Anyway, the demon lord, the Tasagare, fucking kidnaps the Princess Aurora. And Aurora. It's an easy word. Oh my god. Anyway, let's just call her Princess. It finally fucking kidnaps the princess and holds her prisoner in the demon castle. But we got a huge problem. She can't get to sleep. What a predicament. Our girl goes out of her way to use every single murderous trick in the book, or whatever book she's fucking reading from, to get what she wants, even if it means fucking dying. And, spoiler alert here, she fucking dies like a good handful of times. I've never watched a show that surprised me so much. Through every turn, you have absolutely no clue what the fuck she's gonna do next. One day, she's murdering sheet ghosts. Next day, she's brushing teddy bears into submission. She learns sleep magic and accidentally puts the whole castle to sleep except for her. She learns the mystical art of falling asleep anywhere, but she has nightmares of the hero annoying her. The show honestly writes itself, and it clearly has so much fun doing it. The character designs are pretty enjoyable to watch on a regular basis. We have Dog Chan, Princess Kun, Demon Lord San, the Prinnies from the Disgaea video game. Let's run through a scenario. To unleash a great demon, you have to hit every single switch on a staircase, break the seals on some actual metal chains, and make 6 statues lick each other without getting in the way, all in one sequence. The princess does it by accident. 10 out of 10. There's the review. I'm going home. Psych, we ain't done yet. I didn't talk about the brilliant places we go. We got the demon castle. We've got the other demon castle. I think there's a 3rd demon castle down the line. The human world is kinda meh, but the evil demon forest, hard. This show had like minimal tea, but I'm so glad I watched it all the way through to the end. Ultimately, we don't get like the hugest amount of storyline, as much as the storyline is based around how much sleep the princess gets. Even so, the show goes hard. We have like hella wholesome moments, and the show can be hilarious at times as well, and even really very current and modern at times too. Dog Chan says dead ass at some point, and I think that's the episode where they, with the most modern references in it, even the one where they go to the human world. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the amount of sleep this woman gets is unholy, and I've never wanted anything more in my life. This, the amount of sleep that she gets towards the finale of the show can only be called a final awakening. Not the awakening part, just the final. Like, she awoke in her ability to sleep. Just at like a very enviable rate. I actually tried to write notes about what I really want to talk about at shows like these, but I only have one note here, and it says unbelievable. So that's about all I've got. So with that, all that information directly thrown towards you, Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle has no beach episode, so my babes gets an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Why 8? Fuck you, that's why. Now lads, I know I don't like filler very much, but I think I'm gonna go for it. You know, this is filler. This is filler right now. You can skip to a specific point in the show. There'll be a timestamp in the bar, like you could know, like this is honorable mentions, right? This is honorable mentions I'd like to throw up for the homies. Okay, first hand, the only reason I could give honorable mentions is because I have absolutely nothing to say about these shows. They are either as basic as it gets, or there's just nothing huge to review about. But I recommend them anyway. We have Wave, Listen to Me, about a woman in her mid-20s who finds herself in a deadbeat life with a deadbeat boyfriend who actually fucks off out of her life with the equivalent of 3,000 smackaroons in any currency. One thing leads to another, and now she's hosting her own acting radio show in a graveyard shift where she slides in her own life lessons. It's really message to herself through self-reflection and understanding of the life that she's in now, listening to other people's problems, alongside the experiences that she's had as a person. It's quite nice, but all throughout the show, there's just no conflict. So give it a show if you really want nothing amazing to happen ever again. Horror Mia is about kids in love, just out here being in love. Nothing much to see here, but your typical love story. Love is in the air with basically everyone, and that's about it. I don't know why everyone's ranting and raving about this, but whatever, there it is for you. And the hidden dungeon only I can enter. I have no good words. This is about honestly fucking anything. A guy is born to a pagan baron who's broke as shit, so because of his heritage, he gets roasted, just like by proxy. So he has to find some magical way to scale the hero ladder. Fortunately for him though, he has the great sage ability. Unfortunately though, he gets a migraine every time he uses it, which can only be cured with a full French kiss. Fortunately for him though, he has a childhood friend with huge titties that's completely willing to do that. So she's winning. Unfortunately now, everyone wants to fuck him. Fortunately for him though, he has a magical skill that gives him special points every time he's a degenerate. Unfortunately for him though, he's a huge bitch. Do you see where I'm going with this? So with all those honourable mentions out of the way, we might be back next week. Let's move on. Lads, never in my life have I witnessed a bruh moment that very quickly turned into my favourite bruh moment. Please, don't misunderstand. This isn't your regular romance anime. This is the best romance anime I've seen, rivaling even School Days. So let's talk about Mysterious Girlfriend X. Now, every boy reaches that time in his life. He turns 16 and he thinks about girls. He thinks about titties. He thinks about life and all of the above. Constantly expanding and growing in scale. This is all the same with Tsubaki Akira, a dude who's just out here being a dude. Until, of course, a strange transfer student rolls through all strange and stuff. I'm talking, of course, about Mikoto Urabe, but we'll get to her later, and you'll see why. Anyway, long story short, and Tsubaki fucking tastes Urabe's drool from her desk from when she was asleep. Yep, man dips a finger in, swirls it around a little, just to make sure he got all that sweet goodness on his finger, and he fucking licks it, puts it right in his mouth. Here comes the aeroplane, he says. And what do you think happened to him afterwards? If your guess was that he gets heroin shakes and withdrawal symptoms, you'd be completely correct. Urabe figures it out pretty quickly, and obviously her answer to the whole predicament is that she will stick her spit in his mouth every single day, otherwise he'll probably die. There's really no easy way of saying this, really. So every single day after school, Urabe sticks her spit in his mouth with the legendary spit finger technique, and he obviously falls in love with her and asks her out in popular fashion. What do you think she does in response? If your guess was that she fucking throws up a shitload of drool onto the delicious, sweet, glistening looking drool onto the floor, you'd be completely correct. Cause she throws up a shitload of drool, sweet, delicious, honey looking drool in response. So, there it is. So this is a romance anime about two kids in love. I just want to quickly break from the script and tell you I'm about to say a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. So bear with me. This is a romance anime about two kids in love, with their romantic connection being the spit that they share. What the fuck could I ever expect from an anime after the first episode when it's this? Well, if there's anything I learned from A Sister's All You Need, it's that the first episodes can be deceiving, and this anime is definitely a testament to that. After the first episode, it just turns spicy, somewhat quickly. Mostly in the form of Tsubaki's dreams, which mostly portray Urabe in this really seductive light that only he sees. And then when he sees her in person, it's really not the same thing at all. It's this really interesting take on male expectations, except in this case, Urabe can simply taste Tsubaki's spit and completely know everything he dreamed about. That's what we're dealing with. There's no secrets here. So here's me going back to what Mikoto Urabe. What can I say about Mikoto Urabe that makes her best girl, okay? She keeps scissors in her underwear. She'll spit in your mouth. She'll straight up tell someone to fuck off to their face. Even though she has no basic understanding of human principles, she has no parents, she has huge titties, and she will go out of her way to see you after school, and then every single day after that, just to spit in your mouth. Did I mention that she'll spit in your mouth? Then she'll let you fondle her tits. Okay, where was I? So, what the fuck? All anime budget was on, all the animation budget on Saliva. Urabe best girl. Yeah, that's right. Tsubaki's best friend's girlfriend is a trifling bitch and I hate her. What's the point in asking this woman so many fucking blood clot questions about her fucking boyfriend? Leave the girl alone. But wait, she'll never leave Urabe alone, cause this girl, Oka, if you wanted to really know her name, just wants to fuck Urabe. Obviously, she wants to taste her spit every day, forever, and is willing to go out of her way to make Urabe lunch every single morning to make it happen. You can't make it up. But like, obviously, this only goes so far, for so long, until we have a beach episode. Yes. You wanted it. You love to see it. You do. Here it is. Urabe in a swimsuit. Why am I so happy about this? It's just been so long since we had a super wholesome beach episode that we get to see Urabe in blackface and tan lines. God truly is a wonderful being, and I am trash. However, speaking of God, we have a Judas in our midst. Tsubaki's first crush, shown to us only once in the first episode through a picture that Tsubaki tears up in front of Urabe in order to ask her out. She just fucking shows up. Just wants to fuck Tsubaki. However, Tsubaki only has taste buds for Urabe's spit, so he declines. Fortunately for the female species though, they can be vigilant. So this trifling ass bitch, a Hayakawa, fucking tries to steal Tsubaki from Urabe through military grade deception. Urabe, fortunately enough, sees through the bullshit and throws this bitch to the streets where she belongs. And the final note I have is that this anime had the same budget on the drool as Shimonetta had with the pussy juice. Don't even try and prove me wrong. The spit, the drool, it has that Shimonetta pussy juice glisten. It's so funny. So I'd say that unfortunately enough for the general public, I actually genuinely enjoyed this show a lot. I don't know why. Maybe my degenerate soul was drawn to it, but something about it just clicked correct with me. Not just in my heart, but in my spit glands too. So with all that, Mysterious Girlfriend X gets a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Well, we made it. It's been a long ride, but it's been a good one. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Next episode will be the start of season 3, and it'll basically be exactly the same as this episode. What am I gonna name it? This episode's this time? Who the fuck knows? What was your favourite part of the episode? Well, okay, alright. Well, that's why we're friends, isn't it? Promptly moving on to our favourite part of the episode, the Waifu Corner. Now in Waifu Corner number 1, we have Kyoka Izumi, a girl that'll never do anything unless you tell her to, from Bungo Stray Dogs. Over the phone, of course. You have to tell her over the phone, otherwise she'll have no idea what you're talking about. Corner number 2, we have Princess Aurora, a girl that knows exactly what she wants and isn't afraid to fucking kill someone to get it, from Sleepy Princess. And in corner number 3, we're thrown by Makoto Urabe, the girl you never expected to catch feelings for, but are glad you did anyway. Now place your votes today by telepathically sending your decision to me through my weak telepathy. And the votes are here. Ding! The winner is, by a landslide, Makoto Urabe. Who'd have thought that Best Girl would be fucking weird? Well, alright. I'm bored now, that's enough. Your mother and I are very disappointed in you, and you're going to spend the rest of the night watching all of these shows. I don't want to hear any back talk. I just want you to know, I just want to know that you watch Mysterious Girlfriend X. Anyway, that's about everything I have to say today. My brain is going blank. So with all that, my name is Emoto Slayer 13. This has been the Weeaboo Corner. And now? Oh my God. Get the hell out of my corner. Bye.
hours of my lows, till I found some anime hoes on my screen, busting out the Vaseline, nigga, I'm a beat till my meat's looking weak, then I found the one I wanna take home, so I'm on the internet trying to fuck, not talking about the real world, talking about my best girl, trying to take a nap on them anime thighs, nigga, and them titty triple D's, they be hitting quite right, got a lux that hide in the scrapers of the sky, when I'm looking for a titty I can suck, I ain't that slick, so I'm standing in the road, and I'm trying to get hit with the Isekai truck, bam bam, now I'm chilling with the ladies, which hoe trying to date me, I'm with the plot, and I'm never going back without a fight, if you trying to throw hands, nigga picked a good time, cause I die for my waifu, take it to the grave when I'm out, better throw me with the trash, nigga do the math, your waifu is sucker, I don't even lie, cause I got a couple notes that I saved, useless, my girl has proof that she's sick, your girl look like she got beat with a stick, my bitch is Riaz and your hoe is someone from Boku no Pico, now fuck out my bit. Shorty looking flat like paper, she got them buns, she's the baker, turning on the TV, nigga just to date her, real life hoes just don't do it better, my girl bad in 2D, nigga did I mention, so of course you'll never know her, cause she's in another dimension, and I'm never in